Ito na. Ako din sumakit yun dito ko. Tingnan mo yan. Hindi po yan fentanyl. NSAIDs po yan. Pero ngayon, pag-usapan natin ang fentanyl. Matagal na to, I think 2016 pa na pag-uusapan. Actually, yung mga reference natin today is coming from 8 years ago. Now, for the gist, fentanyl is a drug that is usually prescribed, okay, during the time of severe pain. Ang mga medications na piniprescribe sa 10 out of 10 severe debilitating pain is opioids.
Expert warns a pain reliever President Duterte is taking is an extremely potent chemical that may cause addiction and may be lethal in large doses. Details in this report.
Ask me, good. Assassinate me, better.
Among a host of ailments, the president himself said he is suffering from Berger's disease, a disease typically associated with smoking. Berger's disease involves the inflammation of blood vessels in the extremities, which eventually damages skin tissues.
First disease is Berger's disease. Common siya sa smokers. It involves obliteration of the blood vessels. Here is an image of a patient with Berger's disease. Kita nyo naman yung mga daliri niya nangingitim. And that is due to the loss of oxygen. Kasi nasisira na yung mga arteries, namamatay yung extremities mo. Kaya nagkakaroon ng discoloration. Nagiging blue yan, and eventually, mawawalan siya ng oxygen, it will lead to necrosis or gangrene. Typically, kapag ganyan, yung mga cells dyan, including the muscles, the bone tissue, it will die. Even nerves will also die. And that will indicate na magkakaroon ka ng problem with pain. Very painful. Yung neuropathy niyan sobrang sakit. 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, you have to be taking in a highly potent pain reliever to overcome the pain.
Those in advanced stages usually end up with amputated limbs.
Okay, sabi nga, amputated limbs, that's usually one of the end products. Ma-amputate, okay, kasi wala na siyang blood supply.
A patient suffering from Berger's disease experiences constant pain, usually in the hands and feet, due to clogged blood vessels.
Yeah, due to clogged vessels.
Masyado ng magang-maga po yan ng sirkulasyon. Magkakaroon po ng kakulangan ng oxygen supply dun sa area na yon,
yes,
at nutrients. Consequently po, magiging bluish, magiging blackish, mamamatay, gangrene.
Almost similar, di ba? Yung kasi yung typical na magiging appreciation ng people with Berger's. No? And one of the most highlighted risk factor for Berger's disease is smoking history. For those who are still smoking, my friends, I please quit smoking. Ayaw natin magkaroon problema like Berger's in the future. And even other cancers, right?
President Duterte admitted he had to take a pain reliever, often administered to cancer patients, in order to cope with the disease.
I used to press something here, fentanyl. It's
okay, so naglalagay siya ng patch. Naglalagay siya ng patch and similar to this. This is not an opioid. This is an NSAID, non-steroidal, okay, analgesic drug. Okay? Similar siya sa ibuprofen. Itong ginagamit. And it's very helpful. There's an importance why patch form ang binigay na fentanyl. Because fentanyl is highly potent and sobrang strong nito. In the patch form, nakakaroon ka ng mas mababang release. Okay? And though bababa yung release or mas matagal, magkakaroon ka naman ng fix yung dose ng isang patch. Kaya sinabi ng doktor niya,
it's a painkiller. It's being used by patients with cancer. I was only given a fourth of that square thing.
Sabi ng doktor niya, 1/4 lang ng patch ang kailangan niya ilagay. Kasi yung pag hinati mo siya, magkakaroon ka ng depleted strength or concentration ng patch. Okay? Pag hinati mo din siya sa 1/4, magiging 1/4 lang ng strength ng patch. Okay?
There was a time that if I put two, but not no more because well, of course, my doctor learned that I was using the whole patch because.
Okay. So, eventually, nagkaroon kasi siya ng problem na he was using the whole patch. Now, using the whole patch, you will be absorbing the entire dose or the entire fixed dose of the fentanyl patch. Sa kanya naman, hindi naman cancer, but there is chronic pain. So, ideally, when we look at a fentanyl patch, okay, so nandito tayo sa MIMS. Transdermal, or this is the patch. Ito, transdermal. Yan, intractable chronic pain. And then the patch releases 12 to 100 micrograms per hour. Opioid naive patients initially 12 micrograms per hour. So at the lowest dose, up to 25 micrograms per hour. It is recommended to initially titrate down with low doses of short-acting opioids before starting fentanyl patches. So sabi dito, usually kapag ganyan mga pasyente, they are coming off from an oral. Okay, yung oral na administration, or they are coming off from a fixed dose na intravenous or IV nang galing sa suero. And usually mga patients na chronic cancer patients, naka-IV naman na fentanyl before. Tapos pauwi na sila, syempre hindi pwedeng magdala ng IV pauwi. They will be prescribed with a patch para pang-cover din sa pain nila pag umuwi sila. So applying more than one patch for doses of more than 100 micrograms, ito, may apply more than one patch for doses of 100 microgram per hour. Consider additional or alternative therapy for doses of 300 microgram per hour. Patch may be worn for up to 72 hours. Pwede siyang magstay dyan for about 3 days or 72 hours. Now, that is for an adult. Now, for elderlies, like our former president, opioid naive patients initially start with 12 microgram per hour. Consider only if benefits outweigh the risk. Siyempre, kalusugan niya, if there is a risk for respiratory depression, iwasan natin magbigay ng opioid. So, patients after already receiving and tolerating opioid treatment, dose reduction may be needed. Alternatively, consider non-opioid analgesics. The other question here is, ma-overdose ka ba sa patch? In the setting of the former president, how can you justify that if it is merely an accidental or is it intentional? He was prescribed with 1/4 of the patch, right? Ang problem there is, it turns out na he applied one patch. The thing is with fentanyl patches, it was not made to be cut. Ang problem with that, sabi ko nga kanina, yung patches like this, they have a fixed dose mechanism and constant ang release ng gamot. Kapag kinat mo yung patch, may tendency yan na mas marami yung gamot na mag-leak sa skin, okay? And magkakaroon ka pa ng mas higher risk. So, I'm not quite sure why in-instruction na i-cut yung patch from the beginning. In instances with fentanyl patch, they don't usually advise cutting it, and as much as possible is it should be avoided na makat siya. But if it was advised, well, it might be on the discretion of the doctor kung kailangan niya mag-taper down. Another thing is, yun nga, let's say, yun nga, 1/4 dapat yung dose niya. Meaning, masyadong mababa dapat yung dose na ma-receive niya for the pain. Pero nagbigay siya ng 1 whole patch, so that is 4 times or 4 times the allowable or desired dose from the doctor. There's a risk pa rin for overdose. And risk pa lang naman, no? Take note, risk. So what are the symptoms of overdose of any opioid like fentanyl? And again, a patch can also provide symptoms of fentanyl patch overdose. Isa dyan is very pinpoint yung pupils, nahihilo. I think may point na nabanggit naman niya na medyo parang cloud 9 ata yung nabanggit niya before. And then cold clammy skin and cyanotic or bluish nails. Kaya it's important na ma-educate mo din yung patient why ganitong dose dapat yung ibinibigay niya, okay, for that particular disease. Kasi kung hindi sila aware na ito lang dapat yung allowable and hindi mo in-educate dun sa risk, ang possibility dyan kung magkamali man siya ng dosage is very harmful sa pasyente. Patient education is always important.
Because I felt better. When he knew that you blew his stop and I said, stop it, the first thing that you would lose is your cognitive ability.
3 weeks later.
So in summary, nalaman natin na ang former president ay nagtitake ng fentanyl patch. So transdermal siya, and meron siyang incidents na pag-apply ng mas madami compare dun sa prescribe ng kanyang doktor. Ang nangyari is meron siyang episodes ng parang feeling of lightheadedness. Pero pag kukumparahin natin dun sa patch tsaka sa product insert niya na nakita natin sa memes, madalas kapag nagbibigay ka ng patch, and it could last for almost 72 hours kasi may fixed dose and fixed an absorption. So technically hindi ka magkakaroon ng overdose doon kasi fix lang ang release niya sa inyong katawan. Now, ang problem ko lang din dyan is yung patch was not created para gupitin. The important thing here is kapag nilagay mo yung patch, okay, will it lead to overdose? It was built to be used as one patch. Kapag ganun yung sitwasyon, kung hindi naman more than 2 patch ang ginamit ng former president sa katawan niya at wala naman nabanggit or indicated and we're not there during that time, di magkakos ng anything significant na effect. Not unless sobrang sensitive siya sa fentanyl, kahit maliit na dose, pwede siya mahilo. Na magkakaiba kasi tayo ng katawan, may reaction na mas matapang ito sa kanya, yung iba hindi masyadong nag-e-effect. Nabanggit naman niya, nagkaroon siya ng lightheadedness. Siguro nabigla dun sa pag-take nung fentanyl patch, no? Parang feeling of cloud 9 yung pagkasabi niya. Other than that, nung nalaman din ng doktor na nag-take siya ng 1 whole patch, he immediately educated the former president and eventually pinastop na lang yun kasi it will lead to dependence. Now, ang dependence kasi, ang nangyayari kasi dyan, kapag naglalagay ka dyan because of pain, okay, pag nagre-recur yung pain, hinahanap mong ilagay pa rin yung patch to the point na mas gusto mong nandyan siya constantly na hindi siya natatanggal. Ang nangyayari dyan, naging dependent ka na dapat nandyan siya para wala yung pain. Now, to the point na yung pain tumataas yung scale, kinakailangan mong meron siya 24/7 nilalagay. Naging dependent ka to the point na nagkakaroon ka na ng addiction to the medication. Yun naman ang ayaw natin mangyari. Tama yung sinabi naman ng doktor na kung kaya naman i-tolerate yung pain without the medication, better do so para hindi natin ma-push yung pasyente sa dependence or addiction to a medication. Now, in terms kung overdose to or hindi, there was no incidents naman na na-hospital ang former president regarding the use of fentanyl. Kahit ini-news during nung naging mayor siguro siya, kasi nasabi din na meron din siyang motorcycle accident noon na after that, nagkaroon ba siya ng attacks of fentanyl overdose during those times? Wala naman nabalita. Ano ba yung mga kailangan natin makita? Sabi ko nga kanina, what are those symptoms kapag masyadong mataas yung dose? Pinpoint pupils, meron siyang abnormal vital signs, meron siyang respiratory depression, meaning mabagal yung paghinga ng pasyente. And yung pinaka-common sa opioids din, nakikita natin is meron siyang constipation. Hindi masyadong mabilis yung paggalaw ng tiyan niya. Hindi nakakapoop. Kaya minsan nagbibigay kami ng Senna or Lactulose or pampadumi yung pasyente na nagtitake ng opioids. Wala naman tayong known record of this whatsoever, pero well, who knows? Hindi naman tayo taga Davao or during that time na nagtitake siya ng medication, hindi naman natin binabantayan ng buhay niya. Diba? Plainly, speculations kung ano man yung masasabi unless we're bang proof na nag-overdose ba ang former president. In the end, is it overdose? Is it abuse? Well, it can't fall under abuse kasi sinobrahan niya yung gamot na tinake niya or in-apply niya sa kanyang katawan with the knowledge na dapat 1/4 lang. Okay? And then eventually na-stop niya. Did it fall under overdose? Well, hindi naman siya natakbo sa hospital, hindi naman siya nagkaroon ng complications like respiratory depression, na-admit because of too much fentanyl. The only thing na nabanggit lang niya was, yun nga, medyo high. Okay? It's usually the effects naman of morphine or opioids, no, na nakikita sa mga patients. Kahit morphine, merong ganon. So, overdose, wala naman tayo ng documentation. Abuse of the use of the medication, openly admitted naman siya na gumamit siya ng 1 whole patch instead of 1/4. So, hopefully hindi tayo nalito, and that is just it, yung story of fentanyl and Tatay Diggs. Wala naman ng ibang wala naman ng ibang notion about this, and still, it's something na sana may natutunan kayo. Naantok na ako. Nakat yung video kasi naantok na ako nung unang video ko to. Okay? So, sana nagustuhan nyo pa rin kahit magkaiba na yung boses ko at parang puyat ako. See you in the next video. Bye!